the door shut, back easy like. There wasn't a sound. The preacher was trembling a little, but he finally opened the Bible and read a while. Then he got up and laid the book on the chair and went to mending the fire. Then the haunt started walking again, and step, 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 up the cellar stairs. Greetings, Mia's followers. You may not know me at all. I am Mystic Maisie, and I'm a unicorn. Half unicorn, half human. Whatever it is, I am magical. Today, I thought I could tell you a little bit about myself. I come from the fantasy world where all the magical mysteries of the entire universe has been created, along with ASMR and positivity. I do this. You are truly wonderful. All of you are truly wonderful. Didn't she have a roommate a few months ago? Zoey Zirconia, was it? I bet you all liked her. Me, I'm just Mystic Maisie. I'm the greatest of all time, as you may say so. I got this. Mystic Maisie might want to tell you a fortune. Do you think there's going to be a full moon on Halloween night? Let us find out. What's it saying? It shall be. Would that be true, or would it be not true? Let us find out on Halloween night. I can assure you people, nothing's going to happen except if you believe in ghouls, werewolves, vampires, pirates, mummies, even zombies. I can assure you, nothing could go wrong. Trick-or-treating is one of my favourite things to do at night. And that, my friend, is one of the best of Halloween. Let me tell you that now. Everything here is best. Let me tell you. Do you guys like Halloween? I bet you do. I'm expecting a spider coming. A spider that could make things more creepy. Then again, are any of you guys scared of spiders? I'm not. How about snakes? Do you guys like snakes? I bet you do too. So it's okay if you guys don't like any of these animals. They're quite scary animals, if you come to think of it. Do you have any idea what this is? No, it is not a mini telescope. This is a kaleidoscope where you look into the hole and every time you spin it, all the beads make the most beautiful shapes. Here, you have a go. Fascinating, isn't it? A kaleidoscope. They're very rare these days. And one of the most old-fashioned treasures. I do like treasures. Even this. A magic 8 ball, aka a mystical ball. My ball can tell the future. It may be a possible answer to have a full moon at Halloween night, where you may think all the mythical creatures would come out. Let us find out, shall we? Meanwhile, do you guys like scary stories to tell in the dark? The story that I was reading to you was The Haunted House. It's about a preacher, or a priest, as one calls him, spends a couple of days in the haunted house just to get rid of the haunting sounds, which sounded like a ghost of a skeleton. And it tells a dark story about a young woman who was murdered and wants to get revenge on her murderer after what he did to her. Now, it's quite gruesome, yet scary at the same time. But I can assure you, it's all made up. And there you have it. There's nothing to be scared, nothing to be afraid of. There can be just stories that just want to scare people. If you wish, I could get my friend Zoey to read you some of the stories in this book, as it's popular nowadays. And I heard that her roommate Mia went to see the new Joker movie. I have no words for this movie, but since I've never seen it, but she did. But she decided to keep it under wraps, as it would not matter much. But all she ever wants is just to spend time with her loving fiancé, Edward. Boy, isn't he a charmer? I can say so myself. Anyway, once again, I am Mystic Maisie. I read your fortune. I show you interesting things like this. And I've got a fascinating skull behind me. And that cute little tortoise right here. Isn't he cute? And not to mention my cat. Halloween is my favourite time of the year, people. Go out and have fun. Have fun trick-or-treating. Which means I've got this. This would fascinate you. I've got these for all of you. Haribos. Everyone's favourite sweeties. Feel the tingles right inside your brain, giving it a massage. Enjoy. Sweets. Trick-or-treaters. Who loves Halloween? I do. I better go and get Zoey to see if she wants to say hi to all of you. I don't know about this mere person, but I'm sure she'll be back soon. Let me tell you that. In the meantime, do any of you guys like this? Satisfying, isn't it? Who's any good at popping? Here we go. That is all, people. Let me go get Zoey. I'll be back in a jiffy. Ah, what is all this? Sweets! What sort of person eats sweets? This, I should never. Oh, hello there, Mia's adoring fans. I've got to admit, I never knew that my friend Maisie would pop over and see how we all doing. Don't worry about Mia, okay? She's just nipped out somewhere. She'll be back briefly. Before you know it, she is A-okay. Oh, she did tell me this morning that she was going off to the church. She may be going out within an hour's time, so she'll be fine. What do you guys think of my new hoodie dress? Chic, I would presume? Yes. What are my opinions on Halloween? Well, some say it's a big waste of time if you want to dress up for fun and you get free sweets like this. I'm not too keen on those, but I would prefer white chocolate mice. White chocolate mice with sherbet lemons, chocolate buttons, licorice, and also strawberry laces. I've went out to find some, you know. I can't seem to find them anywhere because somebody has a right mind of taking all the sweets that I really, really want. And on the other hand, what would you give children as they knock on your door and shout trick or treat? Halloween can be fun. That's what I would say. Maisie told me I've got to read you a story from this book. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And she said I can pick one or maybe two. Maybe go for 3 stories. I'll pick the stories at randomised from this book. Looks scary enough for Halloween, especially in the dark. In the dark, dark, dark room. Let's get the show over the road, shall we? Right. It looks eerily dark, doesn't it? Or should I say, it's quite dim, as you may say so. I presume my roommate, and nor my best friend, has never given me a fresh cup of coffee from Costa Coffee. I still prefer Starbucks. I do love me some pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice latte with the double cream, triple sprinkling of cinnamon, and marshmallows, if you please. If that was the case, Now, on to the stories now. Funny, but not scary. Let me tell you that. Pick these random ones. Aha, start with this one. Hope you all enjoy. It's called The Hook. Donald and Sarah went to the movies. Then they went for a ride in Donald's car. They parked up on the hill at the edge of the town. From there, they could see the lights up and down the valley. Donald turned on the radio and found some music, but an announcer broke in with a news bulletin. A murderer had escaped from the state prison. He is armed with a knife and he has headed on south on foot. His left hand was missing. In its place, he wore a hook. Let's roll up the windows and lock the doors, said Sarah. That is a good idea, said Donald. That prison isn't too far away, said Sarah. Maybe we really should go home. But it is only 10 o'clock, said Donald. I don't care what time it is, she said. I want to go home. Look, Sarah, said Donald. He's not going to climb all the way up here. Why would he do that? If he did, all the doors are locked. How could he get in? Donald, he could take that hook and break through the window and open the door. She said, I'm scared. I want to go home. Donald was annoyed. Girls always afraid of something, he said. As he started the car, Sarah thought she heard someone or something scratching at her door. Did you hear that? She said as they rolled away. It sounded like somebody was trying to get in. Oh, sure, said Donald. Soon they got to her house. Would you like to come in and have some cocoa? She said. No, he said. I've got to go home. He went around to the other side of the car to let her out. Hanging on the door handle was a hook. Spooky, huh? High beams. The girl driving the old blue sedan was a senior at the high school. She lived on the farm about 8 miles away and used the car to drive back and forth. She had driven into town that night to see a basketball game. Now she was on her way home. As she pulled away from the school, she noticed a red pickup truck followed out of the parking lot, and a few minutes later the truck was still behind her. I guess we're going the same direction, she thought. She began to watch the truck in her mirror. When she changed her speed, the driver of the truck changed his speed. When she passed a car, so did he. Then he turned on his high beams, flooding her car with light. He left them on for almost a minute. He probably wants to pass me, she thought. But she was becoming uneasy. Usually she drove home over the back road. Not too many people went down that way, But when she turned onto that road, and so did the truck. "I've got to get away from him," she thought. And she began to drive faster. Then he turned on his high beams on again. After a minute, he turned them off. Then he turned them on again and off again. She drove even faster, and then the truck driver stayed right behind her, then turned on his high beams on again. Once more her car was a blaze of light. "What is he doing?" she wondered. "What does he want?" Then he turned them off again, but a minute later he had them on again, and he left them on. At last she pulled into the driveway, and the truck pulled in right behind her. She jumped from the car and ran to the house. "Call the police!" she screamed to her father. Out in the driveway she could see the man, the driver of the truck. He had a gun in his hand. When the police arrived, they started to arrest him, but he pointed at the girl's car. "You don't want me," he said. "You want him." Crouched behind the driver's seat, there was a man with a knife. As the driver of the truck explained it, the man slipped into the girl's car just before she left the school. He saw it happen, but there was no way he could stop it. He thought about getting the police, but he was afraid to leave her, so he followed her car. Each time the man in the back seat reached up to overpower her, the driver of the truck turned on his high beams. Then the man dropped down, afraid that someone might see him. My favourite one. Kitty cats. Got one behind me. Wait till Martin comes. An old man was out for a walk when a storm came up. He looked for a place to take shelter. Soon he came to an old house. He ran up on the porch and knocked on the door. But nobody answered. By now, rain was pouring down, thunder was booming, and lightning was flashing. So he tried the door. When he found out it was unlocked, he went inside. Except for a pile of wooden boxes, the house was empty. He broke up some of the boxes and made the fire with them. Then he sat down in front of the fire and dried himself. It was so warm and cosy that he fell asleep. When he woke up, there was a black cat sitting near the fire. It stared at him for a while, then it purred. "That's a nice cat," he thought, and he dozed off again. When he opened his eyes, there was a second cat in the room. But this one was as big as a wolf. It looked at him very closely, and it asked, "Shall we do it now?" "No," said the other cat. "Let's wait till Martin comes." "I must be dreaming," thought the old man. He closed his eyes again. Then he took another look. But now there was a third cat in the room. And this one was as big as a tiger. It looked the old man over and it asked, Shall we do it now? No, said the others. Let's wait till Martin comes. The old man jumped up, jumped out of the window, and started running. Then he yelled over his shoulder, "When Martin comes, you tell him I couldn't wait." Then Martin walked in. I don't understand about this story. What is a Martin? Was Martin a cat or an owner? Nobody knows. Hope you enjoy this. I know it's been a while since I've last been here. Like I said, Mia's still in church. She'll be back in less than an hour. She'll be just fine. I'll tell her that you said hi and it all's going to be just fine. As long as someone gives me a pumpkin spice latte with a pecan pie, that would have been swell. Hope you all have a great Halloween. Don't go too mad on these sweets or even chocolate. Go easy on them. It'll all be fine. This is Zoey Zirconia signing out. Farewell. Have a happy Halloween. Misty says bye.